stream. I am James Howell, and we are doing part 7, possibly the final part, of The Evil Within 2. I think we've got Theodore's Stokehold level. We've got the Evil Within 1 trauma flashback section, boss rush, and then we've got Myra's, rigmarole there. So yeah, we're coming up on the end of that, and looking forward to wrapping this one up, because after that, I think 7 is easily the longest any particular game has taken. 7 streams. Which I attribute to the fact that we kind of spent a lot of time being real slow and careful through the open world segments. And that's fine. It's just, for my own taste, I'm ready to move on and do something new for a little variety. So, today's the reading since last time has been kind of slim, unfortunately. I did make some headway. Let's get you over here. Did make some headway into the High King, the last of the Prydain books, and this is it's good. It's good. I mean, I'm enjoying it. It's a good setup. It's better than the Terran Wanderer. It's definitely much more focused, and it is the culmination of all of the enemies that we have encountered individually over the course of the past 4 books. So it's kind of the saga coming to a head. And that's good. Those are always really fun places to land, because all of the payoff, I mean, ideally, the final book in that sort of, that sort of series is supposed to feel like all payoff, and that's where we are so far. So that's good. The main thing that's been happening has been Shogi, which is a ton of fun, I gotta tell you. As I believe Time Zombie asked on the last time he was around, the Shogi board that I mentioned I received for my birthday is in fact a Nintendo brand Shogi board, and I dismissed the concept, I dismissed the suggestion, because there is nothing on here that says Nintendo. They are really low-key with the branding on this. But this is the box, very classy looking, nice glossy, and this is a little more matte. Oh, there you go. This is a little more matte, but still kind of shiny. And yeah, just let's get you open here. Oh, you won't fall down. It is a nice, nice quality 9x9 board. You can see the quality of the wood back there. It's got a nice shine to it. Feels good to snap things down on. And yeah, so that's good. Obviously, I don't have that many people to play with in person, given that I am being a responsible COVID lockdown-y. So I have been using this as a physical platform for Tsume puzzles, which are these right here. Basically, they are checkmate puzzles where you have a setup, you get to see what your opponents are doing, and it's got like this one. These right here are solve in one move, right? And they get fairly more elaborate. So you get up to, there are a lot of solve in one moves, then they get up to, solve in 5. With, you make a move, you assume that the other player is going to do something to get out of check, and you just kind of successively make your way across to victory until you get to like these ridiculous 13 move puzzles. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And I find that having the actual physical pieces there makes it a little easier to get in your brain. So yeah, we are ready to get started. Just 1 second, I will click right over. We can turn that up a little bit. I received an offer for a larger television earlier this week somebody is moving and getting rid of it, but it would have required going into an indoor storage facility and retrieving it. TV is a little bit bigger than I would be able to carry on my own. I think it's just kind of unwieldy. Cooperative physical labor in an indoor space, where your circulation gets up and you start breathing a little more heavily, that's not my idea of a safe time when COVID, so we're still sticking with this. Oh, hey, look at this. Oh, I did not know this slide was hanging out waiting for us. It's kind of cool. Oh, we've got some Theodore.
This gives me some hope. Seems like he couldn't fool everybody after all. Still need to be cautious. He convinced a lot of people straight into STEM.
I did not know Sherpa was capitalized. Excuse me, got something stuck in my throat here. His commanding presence and charisma are immediately apparent. See, in a few words you could swap around there and make that a different phrase. His apparent presence and charisma are immediately commanding. His immediate presence and charisma are commandingly apparent. Yeah, that's yeah, you could do stuff with that. His large, almost imposing stature contrasts with and complements his open and friendly face. It's this face that has graced the covers of a series of best-selling self-help books and launched a series of so-called spiritual well-being oases known as Moo Centers. But what lurks behind this friendly and benevolent demeanor? While some consider Wallace a guru, others, religious watchdogs, and, more disturbingly, family members of Moo Center congregants, consider him nothing more than a modern-day cult leader. This is, it's interesting that Sebastian's skepticism is directed toward the organization and not toward a, I don't know, they don't really articulate that in terms of dissenting from kind of like spiritual creeds in general, which definitely seems like his personality as a skeptic.
Preying on the lost and hopeless by pretending to have the keys to happiness. Now I'm beginning to understand his MO.
Case in point. Does the universe seem like a cruel and random place to you? Do you feel like the world is conspiring to distract you with shiny but unattainable baubles in an effort to distract you from the truth? Kind of maybe one more distract you than needed. Anyway, are you convinced that you're the only one who feels this way? Then the Moo Center is for you. Come, throw off the shackles of modern society, meet others of a similar mindset, create a better reality, the reality that you want, not the one that they want for you. Moo, we're waiting for you. It's interesting. Moo visually does have, I mean, the lost continent of Moo is clearly kind of what they're, referencing there. But just when spoken aloud, I don't think anybody actually says Moo Center. It just sounds like a pasture, right? Like a bunch of cows hanging around.
Spiritual leader in
going into STEM.
No wonder he was able.
The only STEM that a cow's interested in is the blade of grass.
On the surface.
Okay, so Crimson City is still our center of activity here. And apparently St. Louis is canon in Evil Within. That's useful to know.
The bastard smooth-talked himself right into the middle of the plan, just to use it for his own personal gain. His handwriting should have been a dead giveaway that he's a psycho. Jesus. This looks like it was written by the Zodiac Killer.
That's that's a very funny thing coming from Sebastian, because like determining personality by handwriting is like right up there with phrenology as like a pseudoscience. That's well, you can't accuse every skeptic of being consistent. Oh yes, just take a look at our newfound slide. I love that cat's meow. It's so beleaguered and put upon.
Hey, Kidman.
What's up, Sebastian?
I was thinking about our first case together.
You mean back at KCPD?
That facial model of Sebastian's is probably the closest hybrid between the Evil Within 2's kind of rounder, softer edges and the Evil Within 1's stronger jaw.
Wish I had a mentor like you when I was
Like, I can see that face fitting both.
You become one of the best. But the whole
I think I would actually prefer it if
for them.
the face in this one actually looked a little more like that, because I like Sebastian's sort of square
PD weren't onto us.
Too bad.
face.
You could have been a great cop.
I'm not so sure about that. The personnel report you read when I joined KCPD was falsified. I spent most of my youth in juvenile detention. By the time Mobius found me, it was either join them or rot in jail. Not a hard choice to make for someone just out of their teens.
I don't even know you, do I?
That's interesting. I think that's pretty much the that catches you up to speed on what's revealed about Kidman in the
Something tells me the rebel was
DLC
never too far
Consequence.
behind. Kidman,
Yes, Sebastian? What are you thinking about?
Lily. Everything that's happening in here is because of her. Everyone wants her.
I'm not sure why it is, but for some reason, like, children in video games
Poor thing doesn't know what it's like
are
to
the
live a
most
normal life.
likely character designs to live in the uncanny valley.
She's still a sweet little girl.
Even the areas where like adult faces and models are just a little bit off, it's sort of like more forgivable in my brain, and I can override that to see the intention. But with children in video games, like Sunny in Metal Gear Solid 4 was like this
She's been through.
as well. There's just something off
So smart,
about
observant.
the way they
She
look.
had this way of looking at you, where you knew that she understood you. Not just what you were saying, but what you were feeling too. I always knew she was special.
Evening, Iceman
Not just
Dan.
because she was my
It's good to
daughter.
see you.
Lily is special. She was found because of her off-the-chart scores on her standardized tests.
I keep referring to her in the past tense. It still doesn't seem real to me that she's alive.
Doll-like quality, yes. Thank you. That is the description.
Save her before you can start to rebuild your relationship. I'm here to help. Just let me know what I can do for you.
Yeah, they feel more like things animated than people. Also, does that fluorescent ballast just automatically turn off? Yeah, it does. The hallway lights turn off on their own. Apparently they are connected to the lamp. Yeah, the creases in the stubble. I also wonder if, like... I don't know. I think that I definitely know that if I saw somebody who looked like that, walking down the street, just it would look like a walking marionette to me as well. I don't know what about my brain accepts that better than the way kids are portrayed. All right, so we need to go to that. I believe we have, not Theodore, Sykes to help, and then Hoffman's help to take advantage of, and sadly leave her to the flame golems. I'm actually, so I'm seeing that the little, what do you call it? Doorway at the very end in the distance is actually growing larger. I wonder if you could ever possibly approach that given a long enough loading screen. Oh, why, thank you. And some poor bastard actually replaced the old broken mirror with one that was whole, only to break it again.
Shit. That really is a stronghold.
What's going on in there, Sebastian? STEM is going crazy. It seems like it's becoming even more destabilized.
Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I'm glad to have you around, even if it is intermittent. So, yeah, stop on by. I'm gonna push on through to the end in this one.
Lily. I have all the tools I need this time.
Good luck, Sebastian. And keep me posted, okay? It's important that I know what's going on in there so that I can help you again. You get me?
I do. I'll be in touch.
I wonder where he spawned from? I don't think I saw him over here when we were having our conversation about Theodore's giant tower. Kind of has a Babel-like feel to it. I'm trying to think of what that... There's something that reminds me of that is, if not the Tower of Babel, then Babel-like. At the very least, I know I will not have to deal with the Guardians ever again. However dubious that trade-off seems, given that I have flamethrower dudes around now. Harbingers. Can he get up here? I don't think he can get up here. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Oh man. Wonder if he actually sees me or if it's just going to always shoot the flames at me because it wants to spook me. Oh, wild. They actually attack each other. Hmm. Damn the Patriots. Okay, that is closed off, and he is over there. Great. Suddenly occurs to me there might be a different kind of overlap. You know, I've mentioned the trouble of having one game's well, I guess that happens now. It is a little concerning that I can't do a stealth stab. But as long as I can run away from him, I can live with that. It's just, hope he stays there while the Harbinger makes his cycle. Anyway, in addition to having the muscle memory of one game in your hands while you're playing another and kind of borking it manually, there's another possibility that just occurred in my brain, which is to have one game's progression in your head as you are playing another. I'm currently playing Sekiro outside of this, and I've got a few upgrades on my character that severely decreases his stealth when I'm crouched. And I fortunately caught this before I did it, but I was actually about to handle this scenario as though I had the same kind of visibility difference in this that I do in that, which of course I do not, because Sebastian, however excellent he is at his job, is not in fact a ninja. Let's get the hell out of there. Oh, good. So these see... Ah! These seem to be Theodore-specific enemies. Go, 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 go! Oh, wow, our dramatically killed fella is gone. Apparently they still see me? Okay. Good. Oh god, he's inside. Yep. Oh. Damn it. Oh, man. Whew. Okay, please don't see me. As far as it being harder than Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I think the game has an exceptionally difficult price of entry in terms of skill, and it is much more punishing in my experience during the first, I don't know, 4 hours than it has turned out to be since. Once you get a handle on... Oh, weird. The projectile's actually hitting the car and it's moving it. Once you get a handle on how to do combat, it becomes easier than you think. Go, 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 go! Oh, Jesus. Save room up ahead. Whew. Okay. Hi, Sykes.
You're here. Good. What's going on, Sykes? I'm sort of busy here.
Hey, you're the one who told me to call you before I left.
You found your back door.
Check it out.
Congrats. You'll have to show me how to use it if I need to get Lily out later.
Fair enough, but here's the deal. I'm gonna need you to help me get out of here first.
Help you? I don't know anything about how these computers work, Sykes.
That's not what I need help with. I hacked the servers to access a restricted area of STEM. There's a pod in there that I'm gonna use to get out of here. Problem is, the power's out. And there are a bunch of those things in there too. Damn collapse is affecting the deepest parts of STEM. You get the power back on and clear the place out for me, I can get the hell out of here.
Again, what's in it for me?
I'll show you how to use the pod before I go. How's that?
Okay. Worth a try, I guess.
Thanks, man. Call me when it's all clear.
I gotta tell you, I was surprised to hear from you.
Tell me about it. I've been lying low to solve this backdoor thing, but I stuck my head out there a few times. Things are going nuts. What's happening out there?
There's a maniac who's trying to take over Union. You were smart to stay in here. Otherwise, you might have ended up flayed and tortured.
Sounds grim. Think I'll pass.
What's worse is that the guy wants to get his hands on...
Flayed and tortured is an interesting order to those words.
You'll be able to get her to safety once you find her.
I feel like they would be the other way around.
How did a guy like you end up in Mobius in the first place?
A guy like me? What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that you've got heart and a backbone. Seems they prefer their operatives to be either cold...
Evening, Dustin. It's good to see you.
You're neither.
How are you doing tonight?
What do you think I meant?
Nothing. Never mind. You know, I actually searched them out to try and join. Wasn't easy either. They know how to hide their tracks.
Why would you do that?
They're only the most powerful organization in the history of the world, dude. Why wouldn't I?
And you don't consider...
I really like Sykes' character because of this complexity. Having somebody who's got a good moral compass also want to seek out somebody, an organization that has
Sure.
an incredible amount of power.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, you kind of get a sense that it's both for exactly what he said, you know, who watches the Watchers, but also there's something about having access to those kind of resources that is appealing to him. So I like that. Oh, that's right. This was where I got a silencer gun, I think? Okay, so all of these boxes closed, and they are now repopulated with stuff. Demon Souls. That sounds excellent. For Demon Souls, are they still reinforcing world tendency mechanics? I was trying to explain those to somebody the other day, and meant not doing the most successful job because it's kind of an esoteric system in itself, even if you're playing the game.
All right, let's do this before I get cold feet.
find it very interesting Mobius's icon manages to look kind of Soviet, which automatically, like, pokes the, oh, they're bad guys part of my brain. So it winds up being kind of immediately effective, even though they're not, you know, communist. Oh, man. Yeah, for my birthday, a friend offered me something that is in fact a gift. He said that he could not get me a PlayStation 5, but he could put me on a track to where I could buy one, which apparently is as much a gift as having it itself, because they've just been snapped up by bots. And I would love, which is to say that I would love to be playing that while it is while the player base is still active and there are enough noobs out there to make the odds of winning those encounters more likely. Who are you running away from, buddy? Oh, God. Can I clip through? No, I cannot. Well, I'm betting that had the added effect of waking up every monster, well, maybe not every monster, that was laying dormant. But I have a feeling these guys are... Ah, come on now. I can't believe I wasted all that ammunition. That was not ideal. But, could lean into it. Please don't wake up. Yo! Cheese it! Oh. That was evoking Bender's cowardly let's run away line from Futurama, but as a matter of fact, it seems that they lose me as soon as I enter a duct, so cheesing it is, in fact, exactly what I'm doing. Perfect. Okay. So we got one dude over there. We've got him patrolling this hallway. I appreciate the encouragement on that front, Dustin. I would love to get in there and re-experience a good old From Software medieval fantasy romp again. What would have that been? 2000... would have been around 2010. When I last played Demon's Souls. Who is here? Who is... Oh, God! Absolutely did not see him. Is he just going around this thing? Yes, that is in fact what he's doing. Okay, come on, come on. Yeah! Whew. Okay, I have a feeling I'm about to be massively attacked as soon as I flip this switch. But fortunately, I don't think they can pull the axes off the ground like I can. Yep, there we go. There we go.
Next time I might not be so lucky.
Are you stuck? You, in fact, are not stuck. Okay. Yep. Later, genius. Just gonna wait for him to turn around and then get me a good backstab, save some ammo, because my aim is bad tonight, and save me this axe also. There we go. Oh wow, that body really flew after I hit it with the axe, didn't it? Okay. Good.
This is it then. Better call Sykes.
I really wish I could see up close what they have going on that screen. I love when computers are represented, OSs are represented in games. It just makes me want to see if they put any kind of Easter eggs or any details like that in there. I know that at the very end, when you get to see kind of an LCD screen attached to Mobius, and the login is admin, and the password is like 5 characters, which so clearly it's like the login for Mobius for STEM is admin, which is great. They clearly consulted IT on that one, on what is the worst possible security you could have on the most dangerous reality simulator in human history.
Okay, if you say so.
Wish me luck, Sebastian. Thanks, man. I left you something in there for helping me. I'm not gonna need it where I'm going. See you on the other side, Sebastian.
He's gone. I wonder if it worked.
Let's see. Maybe we can get a closer look at this. Color map, texture color, true color, albedo color, Yeah, this looks like a graphics call. Ooh, that actually makes me sick. Can't do that for too long. What's our, you know what? I am going to put this fella on my quick draw list there.
Our attempt to use a STEM pod as an emergency exit port has been declared a failure. Despite a 25% success rate, the decision has been made to discontinue research. 1 in 4 test subjects made the trip back successfully. The other 3 simply ceased to be. We believe that the other 75% have been lost in an uncharted sublevel of STEM. A dream within a dream, from which there is no known way to return. Due to the number of unknown factors, the experiment has been abandoned.
It's interesting. So Sykes has a
I'm not gonna risk living life like that.
I don't know, 25% is kind of a brutal number because 1 out of 4 is enough to make you think that it is possible to, you know, it's enough to make you optimistic. But, you know, 3 out of 4 is, as the leaning odds, yeah, it's not good. And I'm guessing it's almost like the consciousness becomes digested within a sublevel of STEM, becomes like a pre-conscious mass. That's interesting. Let's see. Though I don't know. Being returned to a greater ether of consciousness and digested and absorbed might not be too far off from what death just is. Though that is, I guess, 1 step up from just straight up annihilation. However bleak you consider that.
Not looking so good. Let me help you.
Do I have any other? I do not. That is enough to do something with, but not really enough. That is something that I want. That is kind of worth going out and killing an enemy for just to get that that upgrade for what's about to come up. No. Yeah. Yeah, for what's coming up, I definitely want those. Oh, wait, let me upgrade these. That I don't need. This, absolutely. And as much as I am excited to use our new double-barreled shotgun, I actually think this is going to be more useful in the short term. That is a much better reload speed. Alright. Thanks for the help in there. If you manage to make it out of here, look me up. I owe you a drink in the real world. Your pal, Sykes. Unfortunately, given Sebastian's past, a drink in the real world might not be the healthiest way to reward him for his assistance. Alright, there's some goo. Perfect. Getting grabbed and mauled by those flaming monster zombies is no good. So having some defensive measures will make that outcome better. How much of the game is left? I've got the approach into Theodore's castle, ascent through Theodore's castle, and yeah, there we go. Fighting the Evil Within 1 monsters, and then Myra. So about 4 major set pieces left, I think. Huh. I just noticed that this is actually a wall that I've seen climbable by enemies, making this safe house's claim to safety dubious at best. Yeah, the Evil Within 1 part is fantastic. That's where the whole game comes together for me. see signs of Theodore breaking through. Can I cannot. Okay. Good.
The hotel's clear, Hoffman. Are you done with your tweaks?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah, the Evil Within one
Sending you the coordinates.
sort of recall of all the bosses. That's where the whole arc of Sebastian's trauma just wraps up, becomes fully coherent, and shows that that story arc for him is more than just an occasional one-off.
It's a portable field stabilizer. O'Neill must have been working on it before Theodore changed him. It creates a small area of stabilization that should keep the fire away.
How small?
Its circumference...
I like how the shape of that thing,
Big enough to
I mean,
protect-
even though it's on a tripod, obviously, but even that sort of has a stem-looking
so it's a little temperamental.
shape language.
I have to operate it. Last thing you want is for it to go on the fritz while you're in a wall of flame.
I can't let you do that. It's too dangerous.
So is staying here if you can't get inside. Besides, I'm sick of hiding. The only way we're gonna get through this is if we work together. It's the only way to save Lily. And what if you need emergency psychoanalysis? Who's gonna help you then?
You know just what to say to convince me, Hoffman.
Of course I do. I'm the team psychologist.
That you are.
You might want to prepare for this. Let me know when you're ready to go.
You know what? Let's just leave now. Things aren't looking any better out there. All right. I do not know which Bethesda property that is from. Oh. Huh. Ha! The guest book has got the Tango logo on it. Let's see if we can see anything else. Oh, it's not letting me draw a weapon in here, probably because Hoffman is in here. Just trying to take a look at whatever the rest of that is. It looks like it's just the same image on the right and the left page, just kind of squished up. I have never noticed that before. Well, okay. Again, all things being equal, not the weirdest or worst thing that's happened today. Arcane Studios, what did, is that the name of a title, or is that, wonder if I can, yes, I can, or is that a developer? Liam's transformation was horrifying yet fascinating. Handwriting in this journal is hard to decipher. Man, Sebastian is just super judgy on handwriting this time. Beyond neuro-linguistic programming, Theodore's words did more than influence Liam, they physically transformed him. No wonder Theodore wants control over STEM. It has amplified his already formidable influential prowess. Oh, nifty. It just lays the seeds for the what becomes Theodore's boss fight right there. Ah, nifty. Thank you. Next time I'm in the next time I'm in the safe room, I'll take a look at that. I wonder what happened to the painting up here. Okay, nope, still gone. Weird. I think just the general shape language of that, the general like lines and orientation of that painting makes me think of something that's familiar to this game, but I'm not placing it. So, yeah, let's save because this is one of the areas that I died on the most when I played this before. And, yes, as promised. Oh, hey! Thank you, Cat. I actually think we have one more slide to look at. Yep.
You around, Kidman?
Oh, yes. Okay, I was right. it is literally what the, what STEM looks like.
Machine that puts you inside other people's heads? Who decided it was something anyone needed? I don't want to know what's in another person's head. I learned that the last time.
Ruvik developed it for his own.
Yeah, STEM is definitely proof of, hell is other people.
Potential to enslave everybody you meet.
Better than having it in the hands of a psycho.
I don't know about that. Don't tell me you buy into that whole unifying mankind thing.
Who knows what Ruvik would have done if you hadn't stopped him.
Ruvik or Mobius. Either way, nobody should have their hands on this technology. It's too powerful. And power tends to get abused.
Thank you, Cat. Let's see. Yeah. Well, if that looks anything like Arcane Studios, then yes, that is in fact its reference. Outside of the Elder Scrolls, Bethesda's library is one that I'm largely ignorant of.
Are you ready, Sebastian?
All right, Hoffman. Let's do this.
Okay. Lead the way. I'll have to carry and operate it from here. It should protect us from the fire, but it won't stop those things in there from trying to kill us.
Don't worry, I'll take care of them.
Here goes nothing. It's working!
I think this is a very cool set piece and
Make sure to
sequence.
stay inside the zone.
Sort of a reverse escort mission.
I can't see anything through these
And
flames.
also
Keep an eye out for those
tower
things.
defense
Follow me.
kind of thing.
I know the way. One's coming through.
I got him!
Holy crap! I'm really glad that I did not
Watch your back, Hoffman.
That's what you're here for!
invest
Good
in
thing. They're everywhere.
a lot of handgun bullets. Oh. Who is it? Where are you? There you are. Woo! It is especially unsettling because I can't see where they are until they actually break the circle. You can kind of see
How
them,
much further?
but not when you're moving quickly.
Seems a lot longer once you're in it.
He wants to keep us out. Good. That means he's afraid.
That is such a weird enunciation of out. I mean, weird for Sebastian, not weird in its own right. Evening, Swedish X. It's good to see you.
Don't stop now. We're almost there.
Hold on! Something wrong with the stabilizer!
Can you fix it?
Oh,
On
oh
it.
no!
Watch my back!
No! Come on! How? That is like the point blankest range.
That was close.
I told you it was temperamental!
No, 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 go, 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 go! Yeah.
Are you regretting this yet?
This is my chance to make up for what I did to Lily. And all the others I helped put in STEM. So no, I don't regret it.
As a note on the voice acting performance, I'm glad that they asked them to shout this. It helps to sell the moment much better. Oh no, 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 no! Reload! Do not put that up! Yeah, there we go. That's
Are you okay?
that's why I got the bottle breaking thing.
Shit, my skin is burning. Just gotta get through this.
Really close.
Hoffman, what's happening?
Failing again! Hold on!
Hurry up, it's getting hot in here.
Oh man. Ah! Ah, I didn't want to use my axe on that. But alright. Ah, yes. Whew. Wait, did Microsoft buy Bethesda?
I got it!
We gotta go, now. Run!
Oh man.
Almost there.
Wonder if they're doing anything to internally reorganize them. Or if they were primarily interested in just owning the IPs.
Hoffman! Hoffman, no!
That is a horrible death. Fire specifically. I've heard that if you die burning, there is actually a chance, I don't know how great, of your body at the last second realizing that things are bad and just like releasing a flood of endorphins to cancel out the pain.
I'm the only one left.
Don't know how true that is, but should that nightmare scenario come true, that's the hope I'm going to be holding on to. Yeah, I think what's weird about acquiring Bethesda is this admittedly mistaken impulse to emotionally associate brands and companies with the times of your life that their work or their published materials were relevant to you. And I have a lot of affection for the Elder Scrolls, and so I think there is a real sense of I don't know, maybe almost mourning that some people feel at the notion of Microsoft owning something they have such fond memories about, because in some ways it does seem to be akin to owning the memory, which feels kind of just like violatory and unpleasant. Speaking of which, this kind of reminds me of that bone meal substance you can get in the Elder Scrolls games that I think you can actually eat at some point. Thank you, Dreambaum. yeah, he got out at the last second. Hoffman was not so lucky. I think the thing that I have the most positive affection for Bethesda over is how, whatever your thoughts on the reasons why they do, or why they have, how much room they gave their modding community for so long to make new extensions and improve upon their games. I remember being very impressed when I was introduced to the Elder Scrolls as a console gamer, because modding on that level was just sort of outside of my purview, and it almost seemed like an affectionate relationship that I do not associate with Microsoft ownership. But on the upside, part of the reason why, goodbye Theodore, part of the reason why that was embraced was because of the sold package having a lot of bugs. So it's possible they could develop those games in such a way where they don't need that. Still, fan community and fan ownership is something I'm very much in favor of. Subsidiary of ZeniMax. So, what's the structural relationship there? Yeah, Oblivion was the very first game that I ever got on Very first game I ever got on my PS3, back when that console was really, really straggling and suffering for, well, games. Oh, I see. So Tango is parallel to Bethesda in that structure. If I'm understanding right? Could have had the decency to use an iron pipe instead of a nail. Although that's very interesting. Those actually look very much like just really large carpenter's nails, and not like rebar or something. It was a pretty good port of Oblivion. It did run into a couple of problems, I remember, while playing it, because I've never noticed that window before. I did a few things that wound up breaking it completely, and just absolutely destroying my save file. I decided to start, I mean, you know, it's kind of leaning into the roleplay of it, decided to start a jewelry and like just collect rings. That was like my character's mission, was to collect rings however he could. And I had a few of those those furniture items that you can open the case, and I would drop the rings in there. And after long enough, there were so many items in that case that it dropped the frame rate down to like 1. And there was one particular moment when it broke the game in a way that was one of the highlights of my entire experience with it. There were so many rings in there that it dropped the frame rate significantly, and I had made somebody mad on the other side of town, so I dashed for my residence where this thing was, and I laid inside, you know, crouched down to ambush him. And he walked into this room, and just the number of objects that were already in that room, plus the new character model coming in, just broke it. And it just very slowly killed him, and his body went through the puppet, the ragdoll animations in such a way that it just crushed reality. And so, you know, the narrative explanation I came up with in my head was something like him being core to reality's functioning, that he was the dreamer of the dream, and I slew him, and that's what broke everything. But in reality, it was my jewelry that was just too powerful. Let's see. I've got to have like a lot of plants by now. I can probably make a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, it was good times. I also, I'm not the only person to have encountered this problem, but I was in a shop and just being generally obnoxious. You know, running on the tables where all the items were outlaid and things like that, and my virtual feet colliding with the objects, kicking them off, spreading everywhere. And so then kind of like leaning into the role play of the moment, I was like, okay, you know what, I'm really sorry I wrecked your shop. So I was going to put everything back on the table, but even if I did not grab something and put it in my inventory, if I just lifted it up, that still counted as my attempting to possess property that the game did not recognize as mine. So like after wrecking his shop, once I started to try to repair the damage I did, then the shopkeeper ran out, screamed thief, and yelled for the guards. So that's very much a no good deed goes unpunished scenario. Evening, Grayling. It's good to see you. Yeah, this should be the final one. I think we're gonna wrap up Evil Within 2 on this. And all things considered, even though I blew through a ton of shotgun ammo, I think that is probably the best possible resource outcome for that section. Pardon. Is there nope. But yeah, the friend who introduced me to Oblivion, she was a modder for the PC version, and you know, we shared stories about our experiences playing the game, and then she finally saw the PC version. And she was like, "Wait a minute, so the most you have that differs from the vanilla game is a horse mod that Bethesda released," which is correct. There was a mod that lets you get a horse. This was at first laughable, then pitiable by PC modding standards. And once I saw her tricked out version of Oblivion, I came to understand and appreciate how much PC games do in fact thrive on PC use. Buddy, I've been stealthing through a lot of this game. I think you are severely overestimating the significance of my crawling before you. Okay. I should be able to stab this fellow. Yeah, Swedish X, I can understand that. Yes, got him before he went back on fire again. Oh, damn it. Crud. What? So, I don't remember this. I absolutely don't remember this. Weird. Let's, yeah, go ahead and do a poke. Please die. Whew. Okay. Okay. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I likewise have an aversion to it. The last game I played like that, I think, would have been Ghost of Tsushima. What is this that I'm not allowed to pick up? Yeah, this is nuts. I don't remember this chamber at all. Yeah, I can mainly get into them if there's a social... Oh, God. Ah, Jesus. No, dude! Why would you? Also, I died from full? Okay. I'm a little bewildered as to why I perished, but, also unclear if that's a necessary room. But I'm willing to check again. No, that is a good point. The fact that I don't remember it actually inspires me to go and look at it again. Because it is a whole area in this game that I did not take advantage of. Okay. Okay. Ah, Jesus, that's why I died. Man. Okay. Oh, looks like our dude ran away. Currently unclear what the wisdom of scavenging is, but it's what we're doing. Okay. Alright. Is that everything? That appears to be everything. Alright. Our guy is back out there. Don't catch on fire. Yes! Okay. There's an unusual expression on his face. Okay. I heard something kind of squishing around over there, which made me think it was something that was going to kill me. But I guess not. Okay. Gonna wait for this dude to turn his back, and then try to sneak through. A mysterious monolith, you say? Yeah. Alright. No, 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 no! Okay. Whew. Alright. Was kind of him to smack one of his fellow grumblers upside the head. And that's to confuse them.
Why does everyone want to control Union? It's not even real.
Union is better than reality. Union is soulless. Their minds are connected to it. To control Union is to control them. To control them is to control the world.
If you think I'm gonna help an asshole like you take over assholes like them, you're even crazier than you look.
Crap. Are you alive? Ragdolling pretty heavy there, so I'm guessing not. It is interesting that the carcasses even have that sort of like pulsing gelatinous paste effect on them. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, refresh my water, and I will be right back. Please enjoy 3 minutes or so of Sebastian staring directly into the flames of hell. Yep, that's it. ritual is our mascot, whose chill is endless, boundless, and he also just woke up. As you can see from his barrister look, 1,000-yard stare as he goes back into his dreams in memory, reliving them and besting them. With the benefit of hindsight. Since they don't recognize cameras, I can only wonder what he thinks is actually happening here. Being hauled once or twice into this room weekly. To be held and, as far as he knows, spoken to. You're a fine fella. Yeah, he's a solid bear. Oh. And there's trouble. So, yep. Alright, fella. I leave you free. Barrister and Buddha, yes. Passing the laws. Passing the judgments. Letting justice unfold as it will. Alright. Glad you all got to spend some quality time with the gargoyle. And she has been satisfactorily lured away with food, which is 90% of what she wanted. Yeah, one of the things I like about this, I mean, it's just a pretty low mid-range IKEA chair. But it's served me well these past 3 years, I think. It is the closest thing that I've been able to find to the old library chairs in the public library that I have such fond memories of. I don't think I've ever looked up here and seen all of these marks of influence and, you know, of course, charred corpses dangling. Well, that's certainly a lot of that. When I have become the core and built this new world in my image, reality will soon follow. Mobius have already created footholds in all aspects of society. Interesting that they go with the English plural for the organization. And they were foolish enough to implant themselves with ticking time bombs inside of their minds. They considered themselves wolves and the rest sheep, but I am the herder waiting to cull the wolves when they're not looking. Once Union falls to me, Mobius's days are numbered. Well, I respect the optimism. Does seem a shame that there's no more coffee from here on out. You can tell when the coffee goes away, then the, you know, boundaries of reality truly are beginning to cave. A tableware cabinet.
Look like
Really?
you could use some help, detective.
That is sturdy. Great. They really load you down with gel in those last sections. Probably for one last push on whatever stat you most want to max out. I don't think I need that for what's coming up. All right. Yeah, let's put some money into the combat. That's good. Yeah, that is fortunate. Having furniture fall on me is a... Oh, that's weird. After I left the chair, a little minus sign on the key popped up. Like that's where it actually left my inventory. Yeah, furniture falling on me is not something I like. When I was a kid, there were these library bookshelves and at our home, and I wanted a book that was on the top, so I climbed the whole thing, not really understanding that when you put more weight on top of something, that makes it more likely to fall, and the whole thing came down, pinned me underneath it. Oh, weirdly enough, I don't remember being hurt. Just surprised. Right. I have to do this. We did this in The Evil Within 1. Great. I wonder if I can sneak past this guy. Pardon. All right. Whatever I can do to reduce the likelihood of an alert, I am happy to do. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I don't think that guy can actually get to me. Anybody over here? Nope. Okay, he's off doing his own thing. Great. Yeah. Oh, God. Evening, Grayling. Good to see you as always. Oh! What? No! That's like a one-hit kill, I'm pretty sure. God, how many bullets do you take? Oh, no, 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 no! Jesus. Oh, God. Okay, he's not dead yet. This might have been a really bad idea. Dude, change your weapons! Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, that's it. Okay, he's got a crazy amount of health. I think he's actually got, like, Liam's boss health. Definitely motivation to stealth. And yes, Swedish X, I too like the tactile verification that I pulled an axe out of the wall. I'm really glad I saved when I did. By having a body ragdoll. Oh man, I did not fix the flamethrower. Shoot. So that means that, oh man, Laura's gonna be a little tougher. I think I might have missed my opportunity to do that. Shoot. Yeah, right? I wonder how many more of these things I have a chance to kill. I think this might be my last one. And the last opportunity to do so. Now... Oh... Do I have to wait for that to... Yeah, we're not doing that. Oh, wild. It auto-saved here. After I use my resources, okay. Dude, do not stop. Also, kick it down the door in one kick. What? How? Oh, man. Not totally working out as I hoped it would. But maybe still fine? If I can hide here, let him pass. Oh, come on. That wall had just a little bit of invisible barrier detection sticking out of the edge there, and it chomped on my ice grenade. Okay, I think I kind of remember what's coming down the pipe here. Maybe literally. Yeah. Okay. I think this might be my last opportunity to gather ammo before I get sucked into the trauma zone. So I want to make sure and scavenge everything I can. Alright, I think that's it. Here we go.
I'm not making any deals with you, friend.
Okay. Alright, one last prep.
Not if I kill you first.
Theodore making all the
I'll keep coming back.
threats you do to truly villainize yourself and show that you will spoil the sanctity of the family. Let's see. Nope. Yeah, Bad Girl's projectiles take some getting used to. I always found that I had to try to press the button slightly before I thought I needed to, because that accounted for my delay in reaction time. Oh yeah, okay, so this is in fact where Sebastian wound up after going through the torture chamber sequence. And he was standing looking up at Theodore here. I think there's something down here? Though this ladder wasn't there last time, I don't think.
You found her. Excellent. You are special. You've always been special. That is why I brought you here. Why I allow you to create your own space. Prove your fealty to me. Bring me the core. Of course I do. You are an artist, Stefano. I respect that. But I need the girl first.
Sebastian just kind of fascinated at the fact that his head can clip through the hologram. I will absolutely grab a syringe that is soaking in someone else's blood. Alright, here we go. My favorite part of the game.
If it's a taste of despair you wish, a taste of despair you shall receive.
True despair.
You did this to me, Dad. You didn't save me.
It's okay, sweetie. I'm gonna make it right again. I love you so much, Lily. I always have. And I always will. And I'm gonna save you this time. I promise.
I see you've overcome some of your guilt and pain. But the depth of your past traumas is vast. I know everything about you. I know what lies beneath. You have a deep well of fear from which to draw. You've seen many horrors, and they still haunt your memories. Remember where this all began. Remember Beacon. Yes, you remember it
This
all.
is so good. Like, this look on his face is perfect. I don't think he has had that expression anywhere else in that game. That sort of look of just disbelief, almost to the point of laughing because he's so incredulous that this is happening again.
What? Enough of this shit!
I've never noticed the choral music before either.
Not this time.
That is absolutely his posture when you finally manage to stab kill him in the first game.
You think this will stop
I think this is also a camera angle that you see the sadist from several times in his introductions in the first game.
Fuck you.
Yeah, this is absolutely inspired. And just the transition sequences are so on mark, and that right there is basically the box art for the first game. Where you at? There you are. Oh! Great timing. Goop, do I get... Yikes! I think I've got some more ammo that I want to pick up here before this is over. Yep. Yep. Whew. Even though I should have seen this coming the first time I played through this, I absolutely did not, and it freaked me out.
I burned you once, and I'll do it again.
Right. I'm trying to remember, where do I want to get her? Oh, Jesus! There she is. Oh, come on, man. That's not the bolt I need at all. Okay, you just hang out there. Oh, God. Where's my button? There it is. Is this gonna do it? Is she close enough? Oh, thank you. Whew. I hate her one-hit kill so much. It terrifies me to even be close to it. And yeah, it is a real trauma returning from me because Laura scared me so much in the first game.
What else have you got?
Yeah, I cannot imagine that making as much sense or having the same kind of impact if I had not played the first game.
I will protect Lily from anyone who wants to take her.
You did it. Theodore is dead. Let's go home. No!
The power of the core is is mine.
Yeah, Myra does look like a FromSoft character. I think it's really interesting to me that her character design really has integrated a lot of the sort of like
Lily is
white paint slime
Where is she?
that you see as part of the
get her and get outta
corruption
here.
of all the regular villains. Swimmy, I think you're right. I think you've got a good read on that. Also, it's good to see you. Happy Tuesday. No, that's fine. Don't expect... There's no obligation for anybody to pop up and chat. I'm just always happy when they do. You among them.
Myra?
God, Sebastian's whole body has got to look like his hand does right now. Oh, that's heartening to know. Really want there to be something stashed here. Also there, but alas, nothing. Yeah, this has got some real never-ending story, nothing vibes.
God. There's almost nothing left of this place. What are you trying to do, Myra?
Let's go ahead and heal up after that. This is a nice sort of visual landscape to close out on, because so much of everything that happens as soon as the gameplay gets sort of funneled and streamlined away from the open world to the very sort of like directed linear path, you lose sight of the shattered floating Union, and so closing out with that and being able to see it again feels like a strong visual choice, I think.
Damn it. Myra. Where did you go?
What is that? Oh, nope. It's interesting. It almost looks like a person with the head there and the arms there and the legs there, even though I think this one's a little higher up, but yeah, like a person doing a little skip. Just gonna take a look around here before I leave this area. God, that thing's gotta be like 6 polygons. Yeah, maybe 8. They put a windshield on that. I'm actually curious if they represented any of the places I've been to from afar. Oh, well, we can chalk that up to Union's collapse. Pretty sure those were not built in the middle of the street. Whoop. Oh no. Oh no. What have I done? Okay. See if I can... Can I wield my way over? Okay. Okay. Alright, narrow escape. These sort of living paralyzed statues are giving me a hidden Yarnum feeling. I think Yarnagul, the hidden city, where you've got all those statues of people frozen at the moment of what looks like kind of petrification.
What is this?
It's true. The only bait that was needed were some weirdly placed buildings. And that's enough to take Sebastian down.
Myra? It's over. Let's get Lily and leave this place before we're stuck here forever. We can have our family back. Please. I know you're still in there. Stop it! Damn it! You have to listen to me!
Trying to think the
What's wrong?
sort of crosshatch plastered fabric look. I think that's a building construction thing that I'm not placing exactly what that is.
I have to protect Lily.
Already did, Myra. Stefano can't hurt her. They're dead.
Yes. Good. Go. Sebastian, now. Leave.
A ladder match?
I'm not leaving you and
What
Lily in
is
this
a
place.
ladder match?
Myra!
Is that like a pro wrestling in the ring and they've got like a painter's ladder and they have to fight around it or use it as a weapon kind of thing? As Sebastian, newly freed from his tortured relationship with the player from the Evil Within 1, quickly and momentarily gives up his pursuit of his until recently thought deceased wife to gather ammo and gunpowder. Ladder to climb to collect what is typically a briefcase. Interesting. Uber. No, you are correct. The power of kayfabe is endless. And, in fact, some legal battles themselves might be justly described as kayfabe. But I hope the kid got down okay, if they did in fact try to settle things that way. Set. I'm trying to think of what I might possibly need going into this last battle. This is probably the best choice. So there's actually, okay, so there are two DLC concepts on a high level that I will accept as satisfying enough of my curiosity about the other entities in STEM. One of them is Sykes DLC, and the other one is the cat. I want to know what happened to the cat, if the cat itself was injected into STEM, or how the cat as a STEM entity in fact escaped. These are the questions I need to know the answers to. Evening, Mexican Sting. We were just talking about kayfabe, and had the distant thought in my head that that might be a topic suitable enough to summon you, and here you are. Yeah, sorry, we just, it was an accident if you were doing something else. Oh, kayfabe is the pretense and drama surrounding all the chest beating and taunting that goes on in pro wrestling. I've had in my mind, for some reason, that you are, if not a pro wrestling fan, then somebody who has interest in it. I think because my appreciation of the 90s also includes pro wrestling, so that's totally in my own head, I'm realizing now.
I gotta get rid of these things. Maybe then I can get to her.
What is, No, dude! I absolutely want you to shoot him. These guys are much tougher. Get him. All right. Something I've noticed, and something I am noticing in the streams of others now that I'm paying attention to it in my own, is the verbal reactions that people have when the game is not doing something they feel they're telling it to do. 9 times out of 10, the game is literally always in responding to inputs, however well matched those are to what the person is manually doing. Sometimes it does bork. 9 times out of 10, it is just the game having an idiosyncratic way of responding to what you are manually doing. And it's interesting to see how, I mean, a lot of people yell. That's the the most common version of that scenario. Others bargain or negotiate, and others yet give up.
All right. I hope she hasn't gone far.
As for myself, I find that I tend to respond to mismatched hand activity and control input or control output as though I am responding to a collaborator with who I am friendly enough or, you know, familiar enough to be rude to. That's weird. I don't think I've ever seen Sebastian do that. See if I can get him to do the fly on the wall thing again. Huh, weird. Yeah, it is interesting. I think it's, I mean, obviously you can't really draw any conclusions about somebody's personality in the broad strokes based off that. But you can draw some conclusions about their response to stress. Of course, the way they respond in a sort of a tense moment like playing a game is not how they would respond in lower slow burn or even social settings. It's interesting nonetheless. RKM. But yeah, I tend to view my video game avatars as collaborators, and so I cheer and cajole them accordingly. I think you're not alone in that Mexican sting. Oh, this is actually really cool.
Oh, shit.
Watching them come to life at that frame rate like that.
I don't have time for this.
Some really neat stuff happening in the sound design here. Trucks are just death traps. Ugh.
Out of ammo.
Jeez, those guys take a lot. I am, it is true. It is like mocking an oracle. If you want a good outcome in life, it's just a bad idea. Non-existent cameras. How do you mean? Really? Jeez, these guys have some staying power. Yes, be bewildered. And maybe just turn around. Or do what you're doing. Whatever that is. There he is. I feel sure I can stealth kill this guy. Yeah. God, I can't believe he didn't see me. Oh, I see. Like this camera, not like the in-game camera. Yeah, streaming actually helped me come to a practical decision about where to set up my visuals for you know, like Zoom calls and conference calls and things like that, that are job and otherwise related. And not a super big fan of introducing a lot of cameras into my home. The whole, like, ever since working on Republic, the whole surveillance side of that has never sat easy with me. But can I do this? But the fact that I already have this camera set up for like social and streaming purposes made that an easy choice. It's like, well, you know what? In for a penny, in for a pound on this spot, right? Let's see. I know I've got a pretty big boss fight coming up here. I would like to grab whatever ammo this place is generously allowing me. Yeah, let's use this ridiculously to heal a paper cut. Probably cause more damage by puncturing the skin for the needles than I did, than I healed, but you know what? It's fine. Oh, gross. I don't think I've ever been up here? Oh, probably because I can't be. Alright. Here's hoping this goes well.
There she is.
I love how this character's design just happens like literally in front of you. Oh man, come on. What? Okay, there's an invisible wall there. Oh no, I can't even retrieve that. Where are we? Okay, there we go. Actually, electricity probably isn't going to help very much. No, 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 no! Alright. Good oil drum. Whoop. Oh no. Okay. Oh, thank God.
Please let that be the last of it.
Yeah, the lightning on it is nuts. I can't believe I whiffed on one of my explosive charges. Is that it right there? That, in fact, is it right there. Beyond reach, unfortunately. So, there's that. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm streaming on Saturday. Holiday weekend, sure, but this isn't like really like a job thing. This is for my own recreation. As few social needs as I have as an introvert, I still do have some. So, chatting with folks and playing some games a couple times a week helps with that. Given lockdown, especially useful since I am foregoing any kind of holiday gathering this year. We're just gonna do something unorthodox for Thanksgiving. Yeah, me too. I am actually kind of interested to see how that's going. Rather than, I thought that I might just be like sort of piecemeal responding to a lot of the stuff that I see on the screen, but in fact, it just turns out to be a lot of generalized Metal Gear discussion. as the game goes on. Advertisers wanted. Whole hog.
Myra! Where are you going?
I won't let you hurt Lily.
Hurt her? I'd never do that. I love her.
Your love can't protect her. Only I can do that. I told you to leave.
This weird floating cylinder back there. Yeah, right back there. I wonder what that is. I just want to express my gratitude that this is not a QTE. My wife and I are playing through Man of Medan, and also the new one they released for the Dark Pictures anthology. What is it? Little Hope, and I mean that game is basically QTEs in a lot of spots, so that's just the design. But there were several moments where I found myself really grateful for the screen video recording function on the PS4 because I had no idea what happened. I was so poised and paying attention to the QTE prompts that I had to save a capture of whatever sequence I just did, go back and watch it, and then I was caught up on the story. Yeah, Until Dawn was a lot of fun. When it initially came out, I was skeptical because I didn't like any of the characters. And my first playthrough of it, actually, I pitted them against each other so that the worst possible outcome could be realized. Didn't finish that playthrough, but then playing it through socially again, it was a lot more fun. I found that that was the way for me to enjoy that game. HC Homemade. Homemade hardware? Artisan hammers? But yeah, the tone of the Dark Pictures anthology is actually different from Until Dawn. Until Dawn had a little bit of sort of, you know, cheeky, it's a horror movie and dumb teenagers in the middle of nowhere feel. The stories in the Dark Pictures anthology are played a little more straight than that. I am disoriented.
Is that our house?
Yeah, that was my first introduction to Rami Malek as well, and then I found out he was Freddie Mercury, and I was like, huh,
I can't stop now.
I can see that. I've got to say, this is a gorgeous outro sequence. Both music and approach. I think it's lovely.
Their guard is down. Union is running so smoothly that they're not monitoring it as closely. It's now or never.
We should be able to free Lily before they know we're there. Once she's out, we'll be as good as invisible.
Are you sure about this, Theodore? Someone as high-ranking as you. If you get caught,
I've made my decision, Kidman. I can no longer stand idly by while they use that poor girl for their selfish needs.
Son of a bitch knew what he was doing before he even came in here.
I wouldn't call it serious business horror. It's kind of a midpoint between the two. same Dreambalm. Up until the way this was presented, I was less sold on Sebastian's lost family trauma than I was on the, trauma that I shared as a player, which was going through the Evil Within 1 and being, scared witless by, like, Laura and the likes. But this very calm moment, the score and the meandering approach went a long way toward me being able to sort of feel kind of the resolution that Sebastian's reaching here. Really? I did not know that. Yes, introducing the safe house into this area really was a very smart choice.
There she is. Quickly, Theodore, let's... What are you doing?
Did you really think I was going to let you destroy Mobius? They may be short-sighted, but they're far too valuable to me. When I control them, when I control STEM, only then will they reach their full potential. Now, give her to me.
Over my dead body.
If that's the way you want it.
That's when it happened. When this place started to fall apart.
Yeah, I think this game and Killer 7 are the two games that most powerfully integrate their save rooms into the final sequence. For my taste, at least.
Let's hear you talk your way out of hell, Wallace. I'll never forget the sacrifice you made, Hoffman. I told you to be careful with that thing, Sykes.
Evening Jacket. It's good to see you. How are you tonight?
Didn't want to kill him. But Theodore left me no choice.
That sounds familiar, Dreambalm? I mean, if I heard it from anybody, it was from you, so yeah, I think you did.
At least he died fighting. Without him, that state
Boring coding?
would still be off.
Well, I hope that if this is on in the background, I can alleviate some of that a bit. We're about to wrap up
Being that
Evil Within 2, but I think I'm gonna, if we finish in time, I'm gonna close out with some Super Mario, as usual. Oh, that's interesting. The projector's on the floor. Having this music playing, actually, I remember the first time I was through here, I actually spent more time paying attention to the save area because the different music gave it a different kind of weight, kind of a different emotional atmosphere that made me want to just appreciate what it was doing all the more. Yeah. Next on Tuesdays is this right here. Shadow of Destiny. Shadow of Memories, PAL territory.
You just can't stay away from me, can you?
I think you get a nice moment with her if you talk to her during this sequence.
I'm afraid that this will be the last time I can help you. I feel the end approaching.
You've been here for me the whole time. Both times.
Maybe I've been with you longer than that.
What do you mean? Who are you?
I'm who I've always been. I'm who I'll always be. I'm who you turn to when you need inner strength, and you need me now more than ever.
And when this is all over?
When this is all over, you won't need me again.
Because this will be over? Or because I'll be dead?
The same answer applies either way. Now, let's get you ready.
Oh, neat. I don't remember seeing the lamp there before. Yeah, until this moment, I never had a feeling of her as like a support team member, but her being like vocally on your side is very nice touch to end on. It's also just really smart to give her a final moment, since this is, I mean, the only time you could interact with her under these circumstances, and it's like the last moment. Yeah, Dream Bomb. Evil Within 2 is it is one of my top 3 narrative game experiences, the other two being Metal Gear Solid 2 and Killer 7. It's also a really nice feeling of like going through the door, Sergeant Detective Sebastian Castellanos, and going into your office to do your work. Like, this is your work.
Run, Lily. Hide. I'll find you. I promise.
What do you think you're doing, Myra?
I'm protecting my daughter.
You fool! The power she commands, you don't understand.
No. You don't understand what I'll do to keep her safe.
Damn you, Myra! You can't run from me. I'll find you.
You did it, Myra. You kept her safe. But now you're putting her in danger.
Yeah, I think that's a good read on it, Dream Bomb. So the word on Myra, this is one of the things that makes the sort of like parent-child kind of dynamic here a little more interesting than just desperate parents. Is Myra rightfully steps up into her role as protector of her child, but then doesn't know when to let go, and being able to give their child autonomy is something that neither Sebastian nor Myra really offer her at this point, because they're so focused on protection. I find this very haunting.
Myra? Is it you?
That is also such a rare facial expression for Sebastian. He seems genuinely relieved and unguarded.
Sebastian.
Why are you fighting me, Myra?
You don't understand. This is our new home. Lily will be safe here. Happy. Free from fear. Free from pain.
A woman looking like Tatiana or a woman looking like Myra?
No, Myra. This isn't real. Pain is part of real life, and so is love. If she stays
Interesting.
here, she won't live a life free from fear. Because she won't be living a life at all.
You don't understand.
I always read the cat in
things they
Kidman's
did to her. I can't
Kidman's
protect
DLC
her.
as an alternate manifestation of
Please, let me take her
Tatiana.
out of here. Let's do it together. We can be a family again.
I've never noticed how Myra's earrings have this sort of bulbous
No,
shape.
I won't let
Like the
anyone
goop.
take her from me.
No. Please, Myra. We still have time. We can leave. I am not gonna leave Lily here. Please.
Anyone who tries must die!
Don't make me do this!
This is one of the bosses in this game. One of the few that actually has like a Dark Souls feel to me.
You'll hurt her too. I won't let you.
God damn it, Myra! Stop this! Think about what you're doing!
Nope.
Get what you deserve.
Huh. What kind of ammo do I have? Oh, that's useful. There we go.
I don't want to do this to you, Myra!
Oh. I have easily got the worst performance out of the sniper rifle in this game due to my own mistimed shots.
It was right in front of you. You let them have her.
Let's see. That's not what you want. There we go. Oh god. Alright, got a bunch of gunpowder. Field crafting? Yeah, definitely field crafting. Let's see. Time to use this gun for the first time ever.
Please, Myra! I know you're still in there! Gotta stop!
Leave us alone.
Oh, that's really close.
Protect Lily.
I have no idea if that's doing any damage whatsoever. Kind of wishing I put my gunpowder into handgun rounds instead of the AR. Definitely wishing I'd done that.
No. I won't give up.
Uh...
You can't escape me.
Please tell me I'm making contact with it. Okay. Not getting the kind of visual pop that I'm expecting from hitting it. That is a cool visual effect for the second part of the fight. Oh, that's bad, it's bad. Oh man, I'm feeling super sitting duck here while I'm jumping on these things. Okay, cool. Maybe I can get some of these. Yeah, good. Dead Space vibes? Yeah, I can see that. Actually, I wonder if I can. Yeah, I can. It's not much. It's better than nothing. Oh wow, that thing is still there. Ah. Let's see, what have I got? Yeah. These have some bullets in them. There. Okay, yeah, I want those to explode for bullets. Yeah. Come here, Junior. Oh, we're back on this. No, 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 do not stun lock me. Cool. Take a swing with the arm that makes you vulnerable. Yep. Absolutely desperate, using my last scraps of ammo on her. Whew. Let's go ahead and get ready.
I must protect Lily.
Forgive me, Myra.
Nope. Oh man. Yeah, last bullet. I just need something that will hit hit the final weak point. Okay, cool. I'm invincible when I do a kick. Okay. Yes. Thank God. Thank you. I remember having those same problems the first couple of times I played through this. I cannot imagine doing that on Akumu mode. And I know exactly what, again, this is like where my muscle memory is not matching what the game wants to do. I want that slow reticle push right when you tap the R, to where it moves more slowly than it does if you just hold it and it swings left or right. And so I'm over adjusting each time. I know that's exactly my problem there.
Please. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to.
No. I couldn't control myself. You did the right thing.
Yeah, this takes place in STEM, so it's got the science fiction conceit, but this is like
So glad you're
this
alive.
is freeing
You have to
your comrade from the curse kind of thing.
Lily. Get her out of here.
I'm getting us all out of here. Come on.
It's too far. Leave me. Just get Lily. Leave me.
No, I won't leave you again.
You have to. Go. I'll follow. I'll meet you there. Lily.
That's like the only lie she could tell him to get him to go.
Hurry.
Gotta get to the house.
And the dramatic presentation of the outro of all this is just still consistently really solid. The quiet moment prior to Myers' boss fight. The boss fight itself is suitably big, and any frustrations with aiming aside, being exhausted down to your last bullet with no more healing items left is a pretty good place to end. And then this, cutting back and forth, is just brilliant.
We've reestablished contact, sir.
Where is he?
We can't get an exact location. Wait! The core's been located. The marker is approaching her.
Excellent. Instruct the marker on how to re-establish the core.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, sir, but it's too late for that. The environment has taken too much damage. Even with the core back in place, total collapse of Union is imminent.
So be it. We still have STEM. We can start again. But we need the core. She's too valuable to abandon. Have the med team prepare for core extraction. How much time?
Depends on how fast he can get her to the extraction point. They're close. Shouldn't be long. Med team in place and standing by.
Once
Thank you, Iceman Dan.
Have the med team terminate the marker. He served his purpose.
Yes, sir.
Kid, call your man and give him instructions.
Well, I guess this is it, kid.
Kid! Did you hear me?
Yeah, I did.
Is that insubordination I'm sensing?
You can't kill him.
Yes, we can, and we will. Once he's back in the real world, he'll become a liability. Now, call him and tell him where the extraction point is. Come now, kid. He signed his death sentence the moment he entered STEM. Now, do as I've ordered, or you'll be signing yours as well.
No.
A shame that you'd attempt to
Thinking
betray
G-Man
us.
from,
I had
not
such
Fallout,
faith in you.
Half-Life? There we go.
All security personnel report to the control room. All security personnel.
Need to hurry
report.
before more show up. Shit!
And the first time I played through this, watching the presentation of this ending sequence gave me chills. The transition between Kidman and Sebastian is just, again, this whole ending just feels inspired.
Lily. My sweet little girl.
Dad?
It's me, Lily. I'm here.
Is it really you?
Shh. It's really me. I'm here to take you home.
You mean we're not home?
No, baby. But we will be soon.
So tired.
Go back to sleep. When you wake up, we'll be safe again.
I don't remember her crying before, having the tear streaks coming down her face. What an interesting, almost ominous camera perspective
Myra,
on the Sebastian doll.
I've got her. Come on. Let's get the hell out of here.
I'm sorry, Sebastian. I can't.
Yes, you can. I'll carry both of you if I have to. But I'm
No.
not...
Mobius has to be stopped.
Screw Mobius. We've lost too much time to them already. We can get away, just the three of us. We'll go someplace where they'll never find us.
There's nowhere to hide. They're everywhere. Lily will always be in danger. Unless I destroy them.
Okay, fine, I'll wait. Once Mobius is gone,
It doesn't
we'll...
work that way, Sebastian. It can only be done from inside. STEM is more than just this place. All of Mobius are connected to it via the chips in their heads. Once I assume the power of the core, I can transmit a signal just as Union collapses. A signal that can take Mobius down once and for all.
But we're finally together again.
There's no other choice. This is part of the plan. It always has been. I'm sorry.
It's
Myra.
interesting that Myra's loyalty to her previous plans, however noble, do kind of constitute a breaking of the marriage. That, like, this is a bigger priority than their family's
So much
continuation.
I want to say to you.
I don't know. I mean, the self-sacrifice is obviously noble and unavoidable given the way that the story's been set up. But
I've been watching you all this time.
yeah,
know
I don't
how
know.
you suffered, what they did to you, what I did to you. You didn't ask for any of this. You've been into hell twice for it. It's time for you to leave now. To live the life that was taken from you.
Obviously, I don't think the pathos of the moment depends on,
I love you.
like, something that legalistic, but
I love you too.
it's a perspective.
Both of you. That's why I'm doing this. But there's no more time. You have to go now.
taking this easy.
Oh, weird. They all just go to that same column and then pop out.
Gotta get to the STEM room. Just need to make it downstairs.
All security personnel report to the STEM room.
Hang on, Sebastian.
Oh, no quick turn for Kidman.
Almost there.
Oh, that's neat. I like how they let you run down this hallway instead of being pushed down at the beginning. It's kind of that full circle of empowerment for the player.
What are you doing, kid? Your actions will only result in your death. You must know this. You had such potential. You could have amassed such power. And now you choose to throw it all away. Why? After all you've seen, all you've done, why the crisis of conscience now? Is it for the detective? For the child?
No. It's for me.
Think about what you're doing, kid. STEM is needed. Imagine it. A unified consciousness for all mankind. No more wars. No more disparity. No more pain.
No going back now. I hope you were right, Myra.
Oh yeah, over there on the left, that's interesting. Enter password, and it says execute Black Cat. Like Black Cat is a program within STEM.
Where do I go?
Get to your room.
All right, but Myra's staying behind. You know why?
Okay. We don't have much time.
I'm counting on you, Kidman. Don't worry, Lily. We're almost there.
Also, a good parallel to the beginning is
Oh my god.
you've got this light that you're running toward, and it's very much I mean, it is literally a beacon that you're going toward. It's also the crack in the mirror that you go toward for your entering your safe room. So falling back on a lot of familiar imagery in a really interesting way here.
Please. We're gonna be home soon. Just gotta hang on.
It's not too late to stop this, kid.
Yeah, Mexican Sting. There is some overlap that I wonder if it is coincidental. I think it actually is like
Otherwise,
brain stem
the punishment for your
inspired.
betrayal will be legendary.
I'm going to be legendary, all right. Legendary for taking you down! A world without choice isn't a utopia. A hive mind only works with a queen that controls it. Join us or die? Well, guess what? There's a third choice. And that's fuck you!
You are foolish, but oddly admirable.
It's a shame to have to lose you like this, kid.
What? You thought that I was just flying by the seat of my pants here? I took my chip out 3 days ago.
No matter.
Man,
You'll die today.
we've seen what it looks like to remove a chip from somebody's brain within STEM, and Kidman's recuperating from a drill in her head awfully quickly.
Come on, Sebastian. We're almost out of time.
Sebastian.
I like how the mirror, which is Sebastian's tool of transportation to and away from his safe room, they ultimately use that as his tool for transporting out of STEM. I think that's smart.
You did it, Myra.
Yeah, Dream Bomb, I feel that.
Would.
I feel that, especially as he is hanging on the edge there, with his hands that have got to be covered in grime, sweat, and, you know, muck, and just thinking about how slim the chances of actually holding on like that are. Oh. Now that sound effect as something detaches forcefully inside his head. It's gruesome.
Safe now.
Lily. Where's Lily?
I need your help getting her out. Stand over there.
Hurry!
It's kind of crazy seeing him just like completely clean and non-cut up now that he's restored to his physical form. There's also kind of a neat parallel to this, to the end of The Evil Within 1, because in both cases he does take out the core and destroy it.
Yes, Lily. It's really me.
In the first one, he doesn't really solve anything or resolve anything, but this is an actual ending for him.
I know, Lily. But you're awake now. The nightmare's over. There's nothing to be scared of anymore. It really is, isn't it? I'm not still inside there, just thinking I'm...
It really is over. Thanks to Myra. Come on. Let's get the hell out of here.
One of the things that they emphasize about Lily's character, I think actually we saw that during this playthrough, is that she has kind of an empathic quality. So ending on that nod of wordless understanding between her and Sebastian kind of fits within that, that characterization quite well. Alright, there we go. Published by Bethesda. Yep. And John Johannes made one of my favorite video games. Well, creatively directed it. These people also made it. Trent Haga. I think he did the first one. The dialogue on the first one too. Using this song as the kind of the official theme of this was a real treat for me because I really like Duran Duran. Actually, as a matter of fact, here. Yeah, you'll enjoy this Mexican Sting. Both the Ordinary World remake for this, and also the fact that I do, in fact, literally have the Wedding album right here. Shotgun is another good song off this album. Very goofy. Almost has a They Might Be Giants novelty quality to it. This is Duran Duran's the Wedding album. And both the Ordinary World, I mean the lyrics obviously carry a certain relevance to the fact that Sebastian's sense of reality is kind of borked from going in and out of STEM. But also the fact that it comes from the Wedding album, and much of this game is about their, their marriage and their relationship. It kind of has like an extra layer of meaning. I am indeed hungry like a wolf. Yeah, too much information is good. Shelter. None of the above. I mean, it's a solid album. Aw, production babies. Always makes me happy to see that kind of warmth in a credit sequence. In-game motion capture studio. Oh, they did that at Square Enix. Toei... Wait, Toei Co. Is that the same Toei that published a lot of films? It's interesting. Oh, they did that at Formosa. Jeez, Chip Beeman is, like, in everything. Julie Bianco, too. There's Arcane Studios. Yeah, there's all their, comrades. Laura Downs. Looking at names that I recognize. Oh, Trent Haga was also Mobius Operative number 5, so the scriptwriter got to got to be a part of it. Wes Gleason was the VO director. Oh, Kiko Inoue did Tatiana. She did the boss, as we saw in the Metal Gear Solid 3 demo. Oh, I missed... Did I miss the Grasshopper Manufacturer when I looked away? Shoot. The Hit House did the, Yeah, I think Kiko Inoue was in... She's been in, like, every Metal Gear game. She was also a regular, semi-regular person mentioned on Hideo blog, back when Kojima had a written blog. It's interesting that they do not specifically assign the characters to the French and the EU cast. I wonder why that is. Yeah, no, Hideo blog was neat. I dug it. I really feel like it is a... I don't know. It's a shame that I don't recognize, you know, the David Hayters of international voiceover. I would like more of those names to be familiar. God bless you, localization testers. You have the most thankless jobs ever. Yeah, one of the things that I remember the most, the thing that comes back to mind the most about Hideo blog for me is where he's writing about how people from Kansai Ben stand on the left side of the elevator, escalator going up, and people from Tokyo stand on the right side, and how he felt like going up the escalator there was a moment where he needed to make a choice as to whether or not he had, you know, sort of integrated into Tokyo culture, or if he truly was Kansai Ben still. And then he slowly moved over to the left side to affirm that he was indeed still from the his region of origin. And that has always struck me as like one of the most Metal Gear things in a nutshell. Yeah, Dream Bomb. That's why when I was scanning through the names to see if there was any I recognized, this looks like a cast that's totally original to me, and I think they all did a fantastic job. I bet VP Information Technology Steve Bloom has to say, on at least one occasion, not that Steve Bloom. I think they're on the Wayback Machine. I know that there is a Metal Gear fan group run by a fella that I know, Ryan Kincaid, who he's made an effort to collect and preserve that stuff. So if you do a search for him, I think his name on Twitter is Nitroid, Nitroid, then that'll be a good lead on finding where that stuff is preserved. But they should be on Wayback Machine too, I would think. I wonder if there's a point where they started repeating this song. I mean, this song has to be repeatable in the same way that it was in gameplay, so presumably if they needed something to extend the outro to be able to handle all of the administrative credits, they could just probably use that and just have it on repeat, because, you know, like with a lot of looping music, no one point in it feels like the place it's going to end. It always kind of feels like it's ready to hand it off to the next measure. So probably something they could rely on to round that out. It is a very nice touch that Myra gets memorialized there. GSN, Crimson City, home sweet home, says the license plate. I think Kidman's story feels better. I think she feels less like a side character in this if you've played the DLC, because that really shows dramatically how this episode brings her arc to a close. So she's not just the voice on the other end of the radio. Yeah, Dream Bomb, I did see that. Unresolved business with her and Ruvik. Interesting. I mean, Ruvik is still out in the world per the end of Evil Within 1, so there's definitely that. I think this is where you can see the admin login as STEM boots back up. And I'm guessing this is like, I don't know, months later, based on the spider webs. No, I guess no admin, at least at that resolution. So, yeah, that's The Evil Within 2, one of my favorite video games. 6,000 green gel acquired. Thank you very much. The Magnum. Giving me deep Resident Evil feels. Brass Knuckles, giving me strong Evil Within 1 feels. I like how when you have the Brass Knuckles, Sebastian's melee attack animation changes to his Evil Within the 1 downward punch. It's pretty cool. So thank you. But yeah, let's see, what time is it? It's 11:30. I think that's actually probably a good time for me to break and grab something to eat. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you everybody who stuck with me through the Evil Within 2 stream. It was a longer series, took us almost 2 months. But next time... Oh, look at that, perfect. Next time I'm going to play a game that does not require a wireless connection to a controller. Interesting to think about a wireless connection as required rather than wired. Anyway, this, Shadow of Destiny, a Konami game, weird story adventure that did not get the kind of love that I think it deserves because it's pretty neat. So we're going to delve into that on Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Saturday, holiday regardless, going to still do Peace Walker at 7:30. So thanks everybody for coming out. It's always great to see regulars out in chat and new faces. And hope y'all have a great night.